Hello everyone, welcome back to Oculus Occulta. My name is KiKi and today we'll be looking at all the different meanings of the High Priestess card from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. As usual, there's a lot to go over, so I'm just going to get into it immediately so we don't waste any time. Let's begin as we usually do by looking at the High Priestess card as something of an art piece and describe what we see. First off, we see a woman sitting on what looks like a throne between two pillars, one black and one white. She is facing us, holding a scroll, and there is an abundance of blue in this card. Once again, we will use Teresa Reed's tarot coloring book to give us some insight into the color associations. According to Reed, blue represents peace, spirituality, aspiration, and tranquility. Black represents negativity, evil, and transformation, and white represents purity, peace, and innocence. If we look behind the priestess, we can see a cloth being held between the two pillars, decorated with pomegranates and palm leaves. A bit more difficult to see is what's behind the veil. There seems to be a horizon line that separates a blue sky and a similarly colored blue ocean below. There is water trailing by her feet that looks like it's flowing from her skirt, and there is a crescent moon at her left foot. On her head, she is wearing a diadem or crown that looks like horns, but in reality, it's two crescent moons facing away from each other, with a full moon in between, but cut in half horizontally. Now that we've described the image itself, let's go over each of the symbols one by one. Let's start with the two pillars she's sitting between. We see that one is black and one is white, and the black one has the initial B on it, while the white one has J on it. First off, black and white are colors that are very often contrasted to one another, and are commonly called opposites. Scientifically speaking, the spectrum of white light actually consists of the 6 other basic colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. In contrast, black is considered the absence of color, and it absorbs light and doesn't reflect any color from the color spectrum. In casual conversation, we say black and white are opposites. These pillars thus represent a duality, as do several other symbols on this card, which we will go over in a minute. This duality makes sense as we see the High Priestess is card number 2 in the Major Arcana. As such, she is also associated with the other 2s in the Minor Arcana, but we will go over that a little bit later. The pillars themselves are often cited by many sources, a list of which you will see in the description of this video, as being the 2 bronze pillars of the Temple of Solomon, which is considered the first temple dedicated to the Abrahamic God in Jerusalem. You will find the story of Solomon's temple in both Christian and Jewish scriptures, as well as an alternate, non-canonical version of the story that is the basis of the Ars Goetia, a work that introduces 72 demons from hell. That is a rich story that will be saved for another time, but the 2 pillars that decorated the entrance to Solomon's temple were named Boaz and Yakin, which roughly translates from Hebrew as "in him is strength" and "he establishes," respectively, where the "he" being referenced is the Abrahamic God. Overall, the pillars themselves, in addition to their contrasting colors, represent duality and balance. Another symbol of duality on the High Priestess card is the cloth hanging behind her, between the 2 pillars. We see pomegranates and palm trees adorning this fabric, both of which are found in biblical and Quranic imagery, with pomegranates representing fruitfulness and the sweetness of heaven, and the palm fronds representing victory and trees found in paradise. In esoteric literature, however, pomegranates represent fertility, especially female fertility, as the seeds and fruits shape reminds one of ova and a womb. The palm fronds were also a symbol of fertility, but that coming from the male. Please keep in mind that many of these ideas and meanings have origin and overlap between Jewish, Christian, Islamic, Greek, and Persian mythologies and iconographies. These 2 trees, the pomegranate and the palm, are abundant in the Levant area and have thus been heavily tied to the region's religions and cultures. In any event, the 2 plants on the cloth between the 2 pillars represent the duality of fertility, as they hint at the masculine and feminine contributions. If we look on the chest of the High Priestess, we see a cross with even arms, also called the Greek or square cross. Here is another symbol of duality, as it may represent the horizontal or negative aspect coming into contact with the vertical or positive aspect. It may also again symbolize masculine and feminine forces joining together, and because it forms 4 quadrants, it could also represent the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water, or it may represent the 4 seasons. The next item to look at is the scroll on the priestess's lap. We make out the letters T-O-R-A, and presumably, since this is written in the Roman alphabet as opposed to the Hebrew alphabet, we can assume that what is hidden is the letter H, spelling Torah, or the 5 books of Moses. In the scroll form, it is called the Sefer Torah. Broadly speaking, we consider the scroll she is holding as a scroll of esoteric, sacred, or secret knowledge. The occult or secret nature of what the High Priestess knows is emphasized by the hidden H, which emphasizes that there is knowledge that we are not privy to just yet. Something is still hidden away. Even without the H, the word Torah, T-O-R-A, can still represent the sacred Jewish text and is often cited as meaning divine law. It's worth noting that card 10, the Wheel of Fortune, is another major arcana card that features the letters T, O, R, and A. The interesting thing about the word Torah on the Wheel of Fortune is that if we start at the T at the top, we can either move in the clockwise or counterclockwise directions, and we could read it as either Tarot, T-A-R-O, or Torah, T-O-R-A, respectively. Even more interesting is that an anagram of both T-A-R-O and T-O-R-A is rota, R-O-T-A, which means wheel in Latin. We will come back to this idea when we get to the Wheel of Fortune. In any event, we can move on to the final 2 symbols on this card, the moon and water. Once again, let's notice that the moon is featured in 2 places, on the High Priestess's crown and at her feet. The water, too, features in 2 places. One is behind her and behind the veil between the pillars. We can kind of see the horizon line and some wavy lines indicating a large body of water behind her. And the second place we see water is by her feet, where it looks as if her dress is turning into water that is flowing off outside the card's view. First and foremost, the moon itself is considered mysterious in a sense, because the nature of its rotation allows it to have one side that we never see here on Earth. This phenomenon is called tidal lock, but colloquially, we call the side that we can't see the dark side of the moon. This tidal lock feature and the unseen side of the moon is what gives the moon an air of mystery, and by association, the High Priestess too is considered mysterious and deals with things that are hidden or kept secret. Next, we acknowledge the connection between the moon and water. This connection is something that I think you probably already know, but I remember when my mother first told me about this, I didn't believe her. The gravitational pull of the moon generates tidal force on large bodies of water, leading to both high and low tides. So the ebb and flow of oceans are guided by the pull of the moon. Next, we should note the connection between the moon, water, and gynecological cycles, including both the menstrual cycle and the development and birth of a child. With regards to the connection between the moon and the menstrual cycle, the 4 major moon phases occur in a synodic month, which is about 29 days, which is similar to the shedding of the uterine lining in the menstrual cycle, which occurs roughly every 27 days. Thus, a lunar cycle is similar to a menstrual cycle, which both occur between 27 to 30 days, or the length of 1 calendar month. As an interesting note, in Farsi, the language spoken in Iran, or what used to be Persia, the word for both month and the moon is the same, ma. The lunar cycle itself is seen on the diadem or the crown of the High Priestess. We see 3 of the 4 major phases, with the new moon phase not being shown on her crown. We see first the waxing crescent moving into the full moon in the middle, and then the waning crescent, which would then move into the new moon, which again is not shown. Because the new moon is when the moon is essentially invisible or entirely dark, it is easier to represent lunar cycles in the triplicity of the waxing, full, and waning moons. This 3-moon symbol is popular in pagan and neo-pagan circles as it represents what is called the triple goddess, or a representation of the 3 major phases of a woman's life, that being when she is a maiden, a mother, and then a crone. Often, this triplicity is associated with the Greek goddess of witchcraft, Hecate. However, it is likely that separate concepts relating to different goddesses and the different phases of the moon, as well as the different phases of one's life, have been conflated over time and over multiple retellings of the story. Nonetheless, the connections still stand, even if in a disorganized patchwork of ideas spanning time, cultures, religions, and mythologies. With regards to the High Priestess representing the 3 major phases of a woman's life, namely again as it pertains to her being a maiden, a mother, and then a crone, we can focus for just a minute on the maiden portion of her life. The term maiden is a euphemism for a young woman or a virgin, as for example seen in the Old English word maidenhead, which is the colloquial term for the hymen. The hymen is a thin film of tissue that partially covers the external opening of the vagina. Is there anything in this image that would suggest a thin film that is partially covering an opening? If you said the pomegranate and palm veil that's hanging between the two pillars, you would be absolutely correct. If the two pillars are the labia minora of the external vagina, then the thin veil between the two is the hymen, with the water of the female sex organ concealed behind it. Thus, the high priestess may also represent female virginity, in addition to representing the potential for motherhood via addressing the menstrual cycle. Pregnancy and motherhood itself is represented by the next card we will see, the Empress. She represents the actuality of motherhood, while the high priestess represents the potential. There is a notable exception here that I would like to address. We said that the crown the priestess is wearing bears a full moon in the middle. The fullness here can represent the fullness of the womb during pregnancy. While I did say the high priestess represents a woman's potential to become a mother, as well as her potential to remain a virgin, what we have in front of us are two images of the Virgin Mother Mary, Mother of Jesus Christ. What is absolutely striking about these two images is how similar they are to the iconography of the high priestess. Especially in the seated position, the Virgin Mary looks so much like the high priestess, in both dress, appearance, and even with the crescent moon at her feet. In Catholic iconography, Mary is stepping on a serpent, which represents Satan, and the moon, which may represent her Immaculate Conception or the reflective light of the Lord or her Son, which she emits as a holy entity in her own right. The description of Mary as the apocalyptic woman comes from the book of Revelations, specifically Revelations 12:1, which describes a woman, quote, clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. There are sources that suggest Mary is stepping on the crescent moon, which is a symbol of Islam. This is suggested by Spanish Catholics who struggled to resist Islamic conquest of Spain throughout history. In the end, Catholicism reigned, and the statues in both Spain and Mexico tend to show Mary stepping on the crescent moon as a representation of the conquest over Islam. This explanation, however, is disputed. As a final note, we can connect women and water through pregnancy and birth. As a child grows in the womb, it is cushioned by the amniotic sac, which is a literal bag of fluid that ruptures when the child is ready to be born. This rupturing of the amniotic sac will release a large amount of clear fluid, or water, out of the womb and through the vagina, prompting the common English phrase, "my water broke," when this happens. Further, because blood is a fluid, and women release menstrual blood monthly, this further emphasizes the connection between the moon, water, and gynecological processes. And this is to say nothing of the other secretions women release before or during sex, which only further solidifies this symbolic connection between women and water. Going back to this symbolically rich card, we see that it represents an aspect of the divine feminine, or those characteristics of the subconscious human mind that is responsible for virtues traditionally associated with women, including nurturing, creation, intuition, feelings, emotions, sensuality, collaboration, and empathy. Times have changed, of course, and once again I find it necessary to reiterate that these are concepts based on historical, cultural, and religious concepts that are now seen as stereotypical at best and downright offensive at worst. Remember that tarot is not meant to be uncomfortable, and that it transcends the rigidities of our time, our cultures, and our ideologies. If you find an explanation or meaning of a card to be biased in any way, you are not obligated to commit to that meaning. You are free to reject it in your practice, as tarot is largely subjective and depends on the intuition of the reader. Moving on to the numerological significance of the High Priestess, we recall that it is a number 2, and thus is associated with all other cards that represent the number 2, including the 11th major arcana card, Justice, which adds up to 2, as the 1s in 11 add up to 2. What is striking about the Justice card is how similar it is to the High Priestess visually. We have another seated person facing us, just like the Priestess, and again, this person is seated between two pillars as well. Remember that the Torah scroll the Priestess is holding was called Divine Law, and justice here is also related to legality or the law. It's worth noting that in some decks, justice is switched with the 8th major arcana card, Strength, making that card number 11 and justice number 8. However, I personally believe Justice being the 11th card is more appropriate and accurate given its connection to the High Priestess and their numerological significance. The actual reason these cards were switched by the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, of which both Rider and Waite were members, was to better fit the astrological correspondences of the major arcana cards, allowing Strength to be associated with Leo and Justice to be associated with Libra, which again, in my opinion, was the right move. With respect to meaning, the number 2 is traditionally associated with duality, decisions or choices, and balance. The 2s may also be associated with unions or partnerships, opposites, and harmony. In the High Priestess, we do see multiple instances of duality and opposites, which we have already discussed, as well as balance with the pillars. In Justice, we see the themes of duality with the 2 pillars, as well as the sword and the scale in the Justice's hands. We also see balance in the scales and decision-making in the execution of the law and meting out of punishment, as we expect the justice system to do. Note also that decision-making is notoriously difficult for Libras, who are represented by the Justice card. The planetary association of the High Priestess is the Moon, which rules the sign of Cancer, a water sign. Once again, we come full circle with our symbolism. In astrology, the moon has to do with our subconscious, our inner self, our emotions, our feelings, moods, internal rhythms, dreams, and our memories. The moon can also symbolize our mother, with the sun being our father, and thus the moon is by extension related to nurturing and dependence. Similarly, Cancer is described as being one of the emotionally deep signs along with fellow water signs Scorpio and Pisces. Cancers are family-oriented and loyal, fiercely sentimental, and, in their shadow aspect, can be moody and needy if they are unable to control the waters of their emotions. The High Priestess is sometimes associated with memories, which can be ethereal in nature, the same way our dreams are. Our memories can be hazy, and we may have feelings associated with them, such as we may experience with nostalgia, wherein we have a longing for a time that has passed. Once again, we should mention the secretive nature of the moon, and the tidally locked rotation, which allows the moon to keep one side of itself completely hidden from the earth. The High Priestess card is shrouded in mystery as well, and as we will very soon see, represents secrets, hidden knowledge, and mysterious events and people. So, as we can see, the High Priestess is a symbolically rich card. However, despite everything we have said, the irony is that the card's meaning can be quite sparse, as we have already touched on the most important meaning of all, things unknown. The general upright meanings of the High Priestess include mystery, secrets, unrevealed future, things that are hidden, hidden agenda, hidden influences at work, secret teachings, occult knowledge, psychic abilities, intuition, hunches, instincts, feelings, the clairs, such as clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, etc., mediumship, astral projection, and remote viewing, femininity, feminine sexuality, and lesbianism, a secret woman, or a woman with a hidden agenda, or a woman with a secret, an unattainable person, a secret admirer, a desirable woman, or being highly desired, spirituality, subconscious or unconscious mind, fertility and reproduction. It's connected to hidden information, people, or things. Quiet time alone, meditation, prayer, magic, setting intentions. Spiritual guidance through dreams, visions, and psychic intuition. Education, knowledge, higher learning, skill in languages, and knowledge of diverse traditions, familiarity with rites, rituals, and ceremonies. In this way, she is very similar to the magician. Memories and remembering, early or repressed memories, awareness of the higher self, cycles of any kind, lunar tides, mental and emotional health, being able to see beyond what is presented, reading through bullshit, so to speak. A person who knows something you don't, knowing but not telling, or the silent treatment, not talking or no contact. The general reverse meanings of the High Priestess include secrets being revealed, surface knowledge and superficiality, blocked intuition, your hunch may be wrong, or you're refusing to listen to your intuition, difficulty connecting with intuition or the spirit world. It may represent moodiness or hormonal mood swings, paranoia or hysteria, a strong outside female influence, destructive influence of a mother on a relationship, either yours or your spouse's, betrayal by a woman, not taking any action, not acting on intuitive knowledge. Finding out something that influences one's actions. Over or undersensitive, hysterical outbursts, or the cold shoulder. Which one it'll be will depend on the neighboring cards. Unearthing a mystery, spilling the beans, secrets are not safe, broken confidence, I've said too much, coming clean, confessing something. Spiritually hollow, fake guru or fake psychics. Superstition, finding something out that upsets you, or more information may be too hurtful or too much to handle. Not in harmony with the inner or higher self. Can't remember something, can't remember dreams. Can't understand or express feelings normally. Blocked cycles of any kind. Unwanted attention. Overly dependent on psychics or mediums, or letting others set the agenda. The upright meanings of the High Priestess in love, relationships, and sex include virginity, chastity, abstinence, celibacy, sometimes a sexless relationship or marriage, decreased libido, interest in sex is low, passion is cooled, an asexual relationship. Sex is not the priority. A relationship guided by intuition. A deep spiritual bond between people, deep and sincere feelings. Playing hard to get. Not knowing where you stand with somebody. Being afraid to initiate. You will either have to ask them out or make a move. A shy or quiet partner. An inappropriate crush, such as having a crush on a boss, teacher, even family member, or a friend's wife or husband. Secret admirer. An unattainable person. The dream girl. Being highly desired by multiple people. A psychic partner. A psychic connection with a partner. Using intuition to decide the outcome of a relationship. Keeping the relationship a secret or a secret affair. Telling your partner to keep your secret, or keeping your partner's secret. It may also represent couples of different ethnicities, religions, or cultures. The reverse meanings of the High Priestess in love, relationship, and sex readings may include sexually indulgent, hidden sexuality, promiscuity, especially secretly, a moody partner, someone who hides their feelings and keeps you guessing, or someone who won't open up or communicate with you, an emotionally unstable partner, an emotionally unavailable partner, we just don't get each other, secret sexual fetish, dark sexual fantasies, hiding one's sexuality, or still being in the closet, an inappropriate relationship, a secret relationship that may come to light eventually, unwanted attention, unwanted advances, sex through coercion or rape, keeping secrets from one another, sexual deviance, wanting to remain single or celibate, not listening to intuition about a partner or a relationship, cold or detrimentally logical partner. The High Priestess in money, work, and school upright meanings include follow your gut or intuition about an opportunity. Go with what feels most right. It may suggest working as a counselor, psychic, spiritual advisor, teacher, or coach, consultant, diagnostician, or Reiki practitioner, cyclical or seasonal work and businesses. Something may look good on paper, but look deeper. There may be hidden issues, catches, fine print, and limitations. When signing contracts, consider that someone may be hiding something important. Keep financial or school matters confidential. Problems will resolve with more information. Consider working for secret services, the CIA, or any profession that requires secrecy. Make quiet moves in work, school, or finances. Watch out for deception in all relations. Beware of any deadlines and stick to them. Gentle communication will work best with all colleagues. May represent gossip at work or school. Secret offers, exclusive deals, first to know of opportunities relating to school, work, or money. Be patient with investments. May represent insider trading. Hidden terms or conditions. Pay attention. Understand all terms and conditions of a loan or contract. Watch for dishonesty and trust your intuition. It may represent presentations that will go well. Be careful who you discuss financial plans with. It may also represent secret assets, offshore accounts, and hidden money. The reverse meaning of the High Priestess in money, work, and school may include information regarding finances or school have come to light. You might have made the wrong move or decision based on faulty or incomplete information. Be extra careful about hidden agendas, hidden requirements, or wrong information being given regarding an investment or degree. A deception is brought to light. A warning to pay attention to suspicions, red flags, and gut feelings. Get a second or third opinion. Insider trading that leads to legal ramifications. If stealing or cheating at work or school, you will get caught. This is a warning. Secret assets found by you, a partner, or the government. A secret investment or inheritance presents itself. Surprise money or assets. Cyclical or seasonal work or businesses may fail. The personality, jobs, and thoughts of the High Priestess in upright position include intuitives, psychics, mediums, sensitives, the clairs, people who are clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, etc., witches, virgins, asexuals, celibates, closeted sexuality, attraction to women, lesbians, for example, people who are able to control their sexual urges. More than usual, this card represents a woman, but it doesn't have to. It may represent daughters, mothers, sisters, single women, or women in general. Secretive people, people you can trust with a secret. Counselors, coaches, doctors, lawyers, secret agents, spies, secret military operatives, psychologists and psychiatrists, independent contractors, the CIA, researchers, secret police, working with classified information. It may represent wallflowers, introverts, or shy people. It may represent people who don't readily show their feelings. Secret admirers, people who don't brag about what they know or what they have. People with potentially deep, dark secrets. People in secret societies. Gossipers. And mental illnesses pertaining to paranoia or mood disorders such as bipolar, borderline personality, paranoid schizophrenia, depression, depression with delusions, etc. This card may also represent the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, or Hecate. The personality, jobs, and thoughts of the High Priestess in reverse include a ruthless or duplicitous woman, a selfish or moody woman, a cruel or shallow woman. Once again, I want to emphasize that more often than not, this card does represent a woman, but it doesn't have to. You can have ruthless or duplicitous, selfish and moody, cruel and shallow men being represented by the High Priestess as well. Manipulative people, secret enemies, gossipers, braggarts, and loudmouths. And note, please, that gossipers are found both in the upright and the reversed position. She represents people who are talking behind your back in either position. People who won't keep your secrets safe, untrustworthy people. Superficial people or shallow people. Uneducated or shallow knowledge. Conspiracy theorists. I'd like to clarify, when I say conspiracy theorists, I'm not judging anybody who falls under this category, because nowadays people do identify as conspiracy theorists. It is a point of fact that many things that have been called conspiracies throughout history turned out to be true. So when I say conspiracy theorist, I'm talking about the people who are wrong and insist that they're not. But the only way to know that in the real world is in retrospect. If your conspiracy comes true, then you're vindicated. If not, then you're considered just a conspiracy theorist. This card represents the people who are not right about their quote-unquote conspiracies. These are the people who are insisting something is true when it is not. Needy and codependent people, assassins, serial killers, or anyone with a very dark secret, secret relationships, secret families, etc. People who work behind your back to sabotage or betray you. Self-destructive people, promiscuous people, emotionally unstable or dangerous people, and the Indian goddess Kali. The High Priestess as advice, outcome, and actions in the upright position include: keep something a secret. Listen to your intuition. Go with your gut. You are hiding something you need to face. You should do shadow work. Pay attention to your dreams, visions, imagination, signs, and intuition. Someone may be keeping a secret from you. Seek more information. consider studying the occult. Develop your psychic powers. Meditate, reflect, move cautiously and quietly. Wait for things to unfold or reveal themselves to you before you take any action. Your doubts or suspicions are warranted. Be careful what you share with people. Keep things to yourself. Learn to accept something without demanding a rational or empirical explanation. Working in or with cycles or rhythms at this time is advised. Warning that important information is missing. Look for it. This is a time to reflect, pray, meditate, listen to the inner voice, connect with the higher self or the spirit world. Need to be patient as an answer is unavailable at this time. Do not push this issue. Outcome is unknown at this time. And in a yes or no question, the High Priestess usually means the future is unclear. It is neither yes nor no. The advice, outcome, and actions of the High Priestess in reverse include your intuition is blocked, or you're not listening to your gut, or your intuition about something or someone is wrong. You think someone is hiding something from you, but they're not. A secret has been revealed or will be revealed to you soon. You may be stuck in a toxic cycle of some kind. Secret or hidden aspect of a situation or problem will be revealed to you. You are neglecting your own intuition or feelings to please somebody else. Your unconscious is trying to tell you something, but you're not listening. Strong sexual desires may impair your judgment, so be careful. Say what you mean at this time. Don't hide your feelings. Keeping a secret is not advised at this time. It is time to come clean or confess or be open. You are being shameless and revealing too much. Partaking in gossip will have consequences. Keeping a secret now may be detrimental. Take action on your intuition. So, we've gone over some of the meanings traditionally ascribed to the High Priestess card, and we've touched on a few of those meanings as they pertain to love, money, people, and actions. We're still not done, of course, as we need to now incorporate words and phrases that we sense through our intuition and through practice. At this point, I leave it up to you to add to these categories as you see fit with more meanings, or remove some of the meanings that don't resonate with you from the list I've given. The good thing about tarot is that it is abstract and subjective, and for the most part, the meanings that are traditionally given to the cards are something of a suggestion. In the end, you could ignore everything we've talked about today and give the High Priestess your own personal meaning, as long as it helps you read the cards in a productive manner. Whatever method works for you is the correct one. With that being said, I would like to now turn it over to you and learn from all of you. What are some meanings that you have found to be characteristic of the High Priestess in your experience and practice? If you use other systems of tarot, such as the Tarot de Marseille, what differences would you note when comparing the meanings to those of the Rider-Waite system? Are there non-traditional meanings you use in your practice, and if so, how did you come to use them? Okay, that's it for now, and I hope this helped you on your tarot learning journey. If you'd like to see more videos about tarot, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel, as I aim to make more videos on topics related to cartomancy, witchcraft, and occultism in general. I also plan on doing some book reviews and recommendations on various topics related to esoterica and spirituality in the future, so be on the lookout for that too if you're interested. If you want to help this channel grow, then please interact with this video by liking it or sharing it with other like-minded people. And please do leave me some comments to let me know if this was helpful at all, or if not, how can I make it more useful? What other topics would you like to see discussed here? Please leave any suggestions or questions in the comment section below if you want. Thank you very much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you all very soon in another video. Take care, and we'll talk soon.